Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. I am your host, Ginny. Today, we dive into some crucial updates affecting not just Hong Kong, but the whole Asian region. First up, the sudden halt of US humanitarian aid has raised eyebrows across Asia, with countries like Japan and Australia stepping in, but is it enough? The call for increased Asian contributions is louder than ever as we face a humanitarian crisis. Next, we spotlight a heartwarming charity art auction dedicated to Bethune House, a refuge for domestic helpers in Hong Kong. With nearly 50 donated pieces up for grabs, this event aims to empower migrant workers and sustain vital services amidst dwindling donations. It's a beautiful fusion of art and community support that you won't want to miss. Lastly, we discuss Panama's decision to exit China's Belt and Road Initiative, a move praised by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio as a significant step forward. This shift not only strengthens US-Panama relations but also raises questions about China's growing influence in the region. Stay tuned as we explore these stories in more detail. South China Morning Post highlights the significant impact of the recent suspension of U.S. aid on humanitarian programs across Asia and the Pacific. The halt threatens critical health, relief, and shelter initiatives, exposing the region's reliance on American funding to support vulnerable populations. As the situation unfolds, there are signs of hope, with countries like Japan, Australia, and South Korea stepping up their roles as donors. Indonesia's recent $30 million contribution to the Gavi Vaccine Alliance exemplifies this trend. However, a stark contrast remains in the funding of refugee camps, such as those in Cox's Bazar, where support primarily comes from European and North American donors rather than neighboring Asian nations. This disparity raises questions about the future of global humanitarian efforts and the potential for a more equitable distribution of responsibilities among Asian countries. In a heartwarming initiative, South China Morning Post reports on a charity art auction aimed at supporting Bethune House, a refuge for domestic helpers in Hong Kong. Nearly 50 artists have donated their works to help the 39-year-old institution, which faces the threat of closure due to dwindling funds. The auction showcases a blend of professional artists and talented migrant domestic workers, highlighting their artistic contributions. One standout piece is a lifelike portrait by Jonalyn Molina, a Filipino artist, capturing the pride of indigenous people. The event not only raises funds but also fosters community solidarity, with local artists creating new works that resonate with the theme of togetherness. Despite the vital services provided by Bethune House, the organization struggles with financial instability, emphasizing the need for broader support for migrant workers in Hong Kong. The Guardian reports on U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's praise for Panama's decision to allow its participation in China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, to expire. This move is seen as a significant step in strengthening US-Panama relations and countering China's influence in the region. Panama's president, José Raúl Mulino, indicated that the agreement with China would not be renewed, reflecting a shift in the country's foreign policy. The BRI has faced criticism for its high costs and the debt burdens it places on participating nations. Rubio's visit to Panama underscores the U.S. commitment to maintaining strong ties with the country, while also addressing concerns over Chinese operations near the Panama Canal. The potential review of contracts with Chinese firms could pave the way for increased American investment in the region, further solidifying Panama's position as a key U.S. ally in Latin America. Nikkei Asia reports that Asian stock markets saw a significant rebound on Tuesday following the announcement that the U.S. would delay tariffs on Mexico and Canada for a month, allowing time for negotiations on border security. The news provided a much-needed boost to investor confidence, resulting in Japan's Nikkei stock average rising by 672.42 points, or 1.7%, recovering from a previous loss. Despite this positive turn, investors remain cautious as President Trump indicated that tariffs on China could increase if trade negotiations fail. Optimism was evident in the performance of exporters to China, with companies like FANUC and Toyota Motor experiencing notable gains. According to the South China Morning Post, Hong Kong stocks also surged on Tuesday, driven by investor optimism regarding US-China trade talks. The Hang Seng Index climbed 2%, marking its largest daily gain since December. Technology stocks led the charge, with significant increases seen in companies like Xiaomi and JD.com. However, analysts remain wary about the potential economic implications of the impending tariffs, which are expected to impact inflation and interest rates negatively. The broader Asian markets followed suit, with Japan's Nikkei 225 and South Korea's Kospi also posting gains, reflecting a collective recovery from the previous day's steep declines. The Sydney Morning Herald highlights the soaring price of gold, which is projected to reach $3,000 per ounce due to escalating trade war fears and increasing demand for safe haven assets. Analysts believe that the recent surge in gold prices is linked to concerns over U.S. government debt and tariffs, with gold outperforming both Australian and U.S. stock markets. The Reserve Bank of Australia has not altered its gold reserves in over 25 years, and the value of its holdings has significantly increased. As geopolitical tensions rise, the question of whether the RBA regrets its past decisions regarding gold sales looms large, especially as other nations stockpile gold to safeguard against potential financial instability. South China Morning Post reports that Luxembourg's finance minister, Gilles Roth, has expressed the country's commitment to facilitating dialogue among the world's superpowers amid rising geopolitical tensions. During an interview at the Asian Financial Forum, Roth emphasized the importance of cooperation in international trade, particularly in light of the ongoing war in Ukraine and conflicts in the Middle East. He highlighted Luxembourg's role as a financial hub that bridges European and Chinese markets, noting the presence of 7 Chinese banks in Luxembourg and the issuance of yuan-denominated bonds. Roth's recent trip to China also focused on promoting digitization and green finance, with plans to issue green bonds in Hong Kong, further strengthening ties between the two financial centers. The South China Morning Post also highlights the implications of U.S. interest rate decisions, particularly for Hong Kong compared to Singapore. Following the Federal Reserve's pause on interest rate cuts, concerns are growing about the impact on Asian markets, especially Hong Kong's property sector, which has seen significant declines in house prices due to the currency pegged to the US dollar. In contrast, Singapore's property market is more resilient, driven by domestic factors such as its public housing system. While Hong Kong faces challenges from external economic pressures, Singapore's government has implemented measures to cool its housing market, though rising prices continue to frustrate policymakers. In a separate report, South China Morning Post warns chronically ill travelers to reconsider trips to countries experiencing flu surges. Medical experts emphasize the heightened risks for patients with pre-existing conditions, as demonstrated by the tragic case of Taiwanese actress Barbie Hsu, who died from pneumonia after contracting the flu while abroad. Experts recommend that high-risk travelers delay their trips, get vaccinated, and prepare by familiarizing themselves with local emergency numbers. With flu cases rising in popular destinations like Japan and Taiwan, the importance of travel insurance is underscored, as it can provide crucial assistance in the event of illness or injury while traveling. South China Morning Post opinion: the debate surrounding the lifting of Hong Kong's restrictions on Japanese seafood imports has gained momentum following recent seawater tests conducted by mainland China, which indicated that marine life near the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant is not adversely affected. as operators of Japanese restaurants in Hong Kong push for a review of the import bans, citing closures and a shift in consumer behavior towards Japan for seafood. The backdrop of the ban is rooted in Japan's decision to release treated wastewater into the ocean. Despite extensive testing showing no radioactivity in over 112,000 samples, concerns linger among food safety experts. The potential for improved cooperation between Beijing and Tokyo on seafood safety monitoring could pave the way for easing restrictions, reflecting the strong appetite for Japanese seafood among diners and restaurateurs in the region. South China Morning Post. In a groundbreaking pilot program in Shenzhen, electric trucks have emerged as a more cost-effective option than diesel vehicles for long-haul routes, according to experts. The program showcased that if electric trucks exceed an annual mileage of 60,000 kilometers, their total cost of ownership becomes lower than that of diesel trucks, thanks to a reduction in battery costs by approximately 30%. Shenzhen, a pioneer in electrifying its public transport, is now looking to expand electric truck usage, particularly for freight routes within the Greater Bay Area. However, challenges remain, such as insufficient recharging facilities, which necessitate longer travel distances for electric trucks compared to their diesel counterparts. Authorities are urged to align technical standards and build compliant charging infrastructures to facilitate cross-border electric truck routes between Hong Kong and the mainland. Nikkei Asia. Investigations into a fire on an Air Busan plane have raised concerns about the safety of portable power banks and electronic devices in overhead compartments. The incident occurred as the Hong Kong-bound flight was preparing for takeoff, resulting in the evacuation of all 176 passengers, with some suffering minor injuries. Reports suggest that the fire originated from an overhead bin, potentially ignited by a power bank, prompting Air Busan to advise passengers to keep such devices with them rather than stowing them above. Following this incident, experts are advocating for regulatory changes to enhance safety protocols, including designating specific locations for carrying these items during flights, underscoring the need for vigilance regarding the risks posed by lithium batteries in air travel. The Toronto Star reports that Canada's forestry sector is facing significant challenges due to U.S. President Donald Trump's recent decision to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian lumber products. This decision has drawn criticism from various industry groups, including British Columbia Premier David Eby, who highlighted the existing softwood lumber duties of 14.4% that Canadian producers already face when exporting to the U.S. The additional tariff is expected to escalate costs for consumers and disrupt trade, ultimately threatening jobs and communities on both sides of the border. Eby emphasized the negative impact this will have on U.S. homebuilders, particularly in light of the increased demand for lumber following the Southern California wildfires. In an intriguing shift from the world of action films, the South China Morning Post sheds light on the personal life of Steven Seagal and his Mongolian wife, Erdenechia El-Batsik. A professional dancer and interpreter, El met Seagal during his visit to Mongolia in 2001. Their relationship blossomed from a professional setting to a personal one, leading to their marriage in 2009 and the birth of their son, Kunzang. Elle's impressive background as a dancer is complemented by her work as a translator, showcasing her multifaceted talents. The couple shares a strong bond, evident from heartfelt messages exchanged on social media, and Elle even appeared alongside Seagal in the film General Commander, adding actress to her diverse repertoire. The South China Morning Post also delves into the controversy surrounding NFL star Justin Tucker, who faces allegations of sexual misconduct from 9 women. Tucker, recognized as one of the best kickers in NFL history, has publicly denied the claims, asserting that he cannot let false accusations go unchallenged for the sake of his family. Meanwhile, attention has turned to his wife, Amanda Bass Tucker, who has not yet commented on the allegations. The couple met at the University of Texas, Austin, and have been together since 2008, marrying in 2015 and welcoming their son, Easton, the following year. Despite the current turmoil, Amanda has kept a low profile on social media, focusing on their family life while Tucker's team continues to monitor the situation. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Waking up to wonders, checking nature blunders. Got our rockets flying while the oceans are sighing.